So today what we're doing, we're talking about drawing a simple random sample, and you'll see there's nothing written after simple random sampling, so that you know that it's the simple random sample here is using Excel. Now there's nothing after simple random sampling, so it's obviously without replacement. How do we do that? How many of you are familiar with Excel? Do you use Excel a lot? I'm sure you do, right? You're all happy you know Excel. If you don't, you're going to learn it very quickly. The first thing, this is going to be the basic principle of how it works, and we've now got to the part where we're doing a little bit more practical in the next lesson as well. I'll do more practical with you. And the first thing I'm going to do is just give you a little demonstration, and you can see here, it's also on page 34 of law. You'll easily understand it, and that'll explain to you how the Excel works. Suppose you've got a really little easy example. There are 10 numbers, and you've got to select 4 using simple random sampling without replacement. What you do, in this case, obviously, population is 10, the population size, the sample is 4, and we're going to generate random numbers between 0 and 1 and associate that with each of the numbers in the population. There are 10 numbers, there they are. You can see here number 1 to number 10 is here. And as I said, we're associating, so you have a random number drawn between 0 and 1 to be associated with each of these 10 numbers. So number 1 happened to get 0.837, a number between 0 and 1. Number 2 got 0.636, and the 7th number is 0.821. So those are my population of 10 numbers. So what I want to do is, out of this set of numbers, 1 to 10, I want to select 4. And the way I'm going to do it is by using these random numbers that have come. You know, with your calculator, you know how to get a random number as well, right? So this is a random number between 0 and 1 next to each one. Then what they do, they sort them in ascending order of random number. With other words, forget the numbers. This is the population at the top. Number 5 has got associated with 0.154. You put it in order of these. Out of all of these, which is the smallest one? I think it's 0.154, right? The second smallest one is 0.465, and so on. So you put them in ascending order. So you just take these numbers and you put them in order. The smallest one, the second smallest one, the biggest one is 0.987, which is 9. And then the number that's associated comes with it. So if you want to select, so really if you think about it, any of these numbers up here, the original ones, 1 to 10, could have the smallest number or the second smallest number. So you just randomly assign a number to each one. And if you then want a sample of size 5, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 numbers. It's those. 9, 3, 10, 4, 2. So you associate a random number with each one. You put the ascending order on the random numbers, and then you ignore the random numbers. If you want a sample of 4, you just say the 4 smallest ones were 1, 2, 3, 4. So the numbers I select are those 4. 5, 3, 10, and 4. You get it? If you want 8, you just go up to the 8th one. So you leave out those 2, and the sample would be those ones. That's the basic principle, but we're going to use this when we do Excel as well. That idea of associating a random number, putting it in order, and then taking just the smallest, whatever number you want your sample. So that's really the basic idea. So what you do, you sort it in ascending order, and then you select you want 4 in your sample, so you just take the 4 numbers associated with the 4 smallest random numbers, and there it is. So that's explaining the idea. So we select a sample of size 4, and associated are the numbers as you see it. Okay, so you all know what you're doing. Now I'm going to give you an example, and I've put this up on Moodle already. This is a study done internationally in various countries. You can actually look it up on the internet. It's really interesting. It's called Census at School. And the idea is that through the National Statistics Offices, they went into schools in various countries, and they asked children questions like, where do you live? And what's your favorite animal? Have you got domestic animals, dog, cat, and so on? And one of the questions are, what is your arm span? So the child stands against the wall so that he doesn't go like that or like that, and they measure how far is it from there to there, measure along their backs for kids in different countries, and they have to, the teacher help them, what is your weight and so on, and your age, and there are various questions, and this is just to show you what the census at school form looked like in South Africa. But the interesting, what is the length of your right foot without a shoe on? Now, while they said right foot, they found many children, and in fact many adults, don't have the same length, right and length left foot. Did you know that? So they specifically mentioned, go and measure it, and the teacher would have a tape, and they put it in, and they record everybody's data. Then in class, they try to explain to them what a national census is so that kids get a feeling. But the bottom line why I'm telling you all of this is because in the UK, they also did this. And on the internet, if you go to Census at School, you'll see you can compare the heights of children at age 10 in South Africa compared to the UK, because they did this all over the world. So there's some lovely graphs and interesting things if you look up on the Internet Census at School project, because it ran even in Japan and so on and so on. But here's some data that I extracted. So that is for, now you'll see it says right foot there, and then it's just that it's right in the cell. So this first one's right foot was 20 centimeter, the next one was 25, and so on. What is your age? The kid was 12, the other one was 11, and so on. How many rows is how many children? That's the data. Your arm span, the one kid was 150 centimeters, you get it. So that's the data from the UK. So now we're going to use that data set, which I've also put on Moodle, and I'm going to show you how we're going to use it to select our simple random sample. So what we're going to do is you're going to go to the Moodle website, and you're going to load the data. You're going to copy the whole data set onto a new sheet. I'll hand out all the instructions, but you might want to actually look at it while I'm talking. So maybe just take one of these, and while I'm talking, you can have it next to you, because I'm going to do it, and then you can follow me as well. So just make sure that you know what's going on, but let's first of all watch me doing it, and then you're going to slowly do it and tell me whether okay, this is what the data set looks like, and you're still going to, come on, okay, you can see here, it's not showing. Let me just minimize that. Okay, here's my data set, and you can see immediately I'm trying to see how many rows of data there is. You'll see when you go right down, it goes to 501 at the bottom. Okay, so there are 501 rows, but the top row here, you can see, oh, why is it not coming up? That is odd. What I'm showing here is not coming up on the screen, which is, is this showing now? No. I'm going to unfortunately have to stop this OLX and start